Welcome families to Lakes Community High School, where respect and courtesy equals pride. Thank you for joining us tonight for this quick orientation video, and a special welcome to the freshman class of 2024. We look forward to the next 4 years here at Lakes Community High School. With the COVID pandemic on top of us, this year will be more different than any other year we've had. We feel that with our strong staff, our fantastic students and families, that we will have another successful year at Lakes Community High School. The district's mission statement is to ignite passion and discovery in every student. But before we can work on that mission, we need to make sure that Lakes is a safe place, both physically and emotionally, for our students. We try to foster a sense of belonging in each student and a feeling of self-worth as well. We work to provide a strong curriculum that is delivered by caring teachers. And we feel if we can do those things, we can really start to ignite some passion and discovery in all of our students. Lakes is a great school. We've had an exemplary school ranking from the state of Illinois for the past 3 years. That places us in the top 10% of high schools in the state. We are very proud of that. We have a passionate and caring staff that is very skillful at delivering instruction. We have a deep sense of community, and it means something to be an Eagle. If you look at some of the numbers below, you will see that we have a focus on excellence and on student achievement. When you walk in the front doors, you will notice our motto painted up on the wall above the Commons. Respect and courtesy equals pride. We ask each family to talk to your student about what that means to them. This is an important motto for us, and it helps us get through the school day in a fantastic way. And we feel that students that can do that take pride in themselves, their family, Lakes Community High School, and their community. Just want to take a minute to introduce the administrative team. I am David Newberry, your principal. I have 2 assistant principals, Ms. Rebecca Holst and Ms. Jory Bowen. You will hear from both of them later on in this video. An athletic director, Mr. Kurt Rawls, an activities director, Mr. Mark Ring, and then 2 deans, Ms. Nicole Hepson and Mr. Kurt Onstead. You will now hear from Ms. Jory Bowen on a few things that you will need to know as you orientate yourself to Lakes Community High School. Again, welcome to Lakes Community High School, and we are happy to have your students here.
Hello, my name is Jory Bowen, and I'm your Assistant Principal of Curriculum and Instruction. Like some of you, I have a new eagle coming to the nest this fall with my incoming freshmen. And being new certainly brings questions. But this year, I think we all have a lot of questions. So let's start with, what is the plan? Our first day of school is going to be Monday, August 17th, and we are ready for the teaching and learning to begin. The majority of our students are going to be in a remote setting for at least the first 3 weeks. And that means students are not coming into the building and having in-person classes with their teachers. There's a small population of students that have been reached out to by their case manager that will be in the building to receive supports with remote learning and with the technology. We also have limited seating available for additional students. If you think that's something that your student needs for technology and remote support, please reach out to our main office for more information. So if the students aren't coming into class, where is the class? We're going to be using Google Classroom. And this is a tool that will be accessible for every single course your student is taking. So if your student has 6 classes, they should have 6 different Google Classrooms. It's really important that you've picked up your materials and that your student has looked at the Chromebook they have and followed the directions to log into the Chromebook so they can access their email. By Friday, August 14th, all students should receive invitations to join each of their classes from each of their teachers. Study halls and lunch hours will not have Google Classrooms. And then Monday the 17th, that's the day. Start checking information for your assignments and for meeting your teachers and your classmates. How's the learning going to look? We learned a lot in the spring, and we definitely learned that it's important to be organized. So we will have a bell schedule that's intact every single day of the week. Monday through Friday, whether we're remote or hybrid, we are definitely going to be following this schedule. So set your alarms. 8:30 is the start of first period. And we need the support of family members to get our students up and moving and ready for class first hour at 8:30. Depending on the teacher and the day, sometimes students will be in class specifically during those times. Other times they'll have more flexibility on completing their assignments and their tasks. But the school day will run for most students from 8:30 until 2:25. As the data improves and we're able to bring students into the building, we do have a plan for how that's going to look. And hopefully you know which group your student is in. Emails were sent out with this communication, and you can also see it in your Infinite Campus portal. So we have an A1 and A2, B1, B2, C1, and C2. The weeks have been broken up into 3-week rotations. So in an A week, we would have A1 students coming in person into the building on Monday and Tuesday. Every other group would be remote, other than the A1s. Then also during that A week, the A2 students are coming in person on Wednesday and Thursday, moving everybody else to remote. So you're seeing students 2 days a week for a 3-week rotation. Every single Friday, regardless of what week it is, will be remote. And then it changes the following week to a B week. So the B1 students are in on Monday and Tuesday, and the B2 students are in on Wednesday and Thursday, and so on. As the data then continues to get better, we're hoping that we can bring in all the A students together for 4 days. So we have 4 days, and then the students would be remote the following 2 weeks. So perhaps in the A week, you would have all the A students Monday through Thursday. Friday still stays remote. And remember, we're still following that same bell schedule that I talked about earlier. And then we would move to the B week, where you have your B students Monday through Thursday. Everybody else is remote during those days, and then 100% remote on Friday. Now, how do you get help when you're not actually in the building? Regardless of if we're in the building or not, the first place I always recommend is talking to the teacher. The specific teacher knows your student and what is happening in the class. Every single day, our schedule has time for teachers to work directly with students from 2:25 to 3:30. In addition to the teacher, the department chair is a wonderful person to access if you have curriculum questions or curious about how the class is running. If you're seeing more widespread concerns, always remember our counselors are available to you, as well as any administrator in the building. We want to make sure that your questions are answered, and we are here to support you and your family. You might have technology questions. If that happens, there's an email site set up for your convenience, LCHS e-learning at chsd117.org. Now, specifically during the day, we have a math learning center and a writing lab available to students during periods 4 through 6. We'll communicate more information about how students can set up appointments and access those staff members, but it's always a good idea to work a few extra math problems before a quiz, and maybe to have someone proofread a paper before you turn it in. And then finally, we have a testing center, and that's going to be available periods 1 through 8. So perhaps a student misses taking an assessment or has the opportunity to reassess. They can use this testing center to take care of those assessments instead of missing class time. We're certainly here to help, and we're glad to have you here at Lakes.
Good evening, Eagle community. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedules to view this presentation about the upcoming school year. My name is Rebecca Holst. I'm the Assistant Principal of Student Services. I just want to walk you through a couple of expectations, new procedures for the upcoming school year. The first thing we need to address is that hopefully by now all freshmen and new students have come by the building and picked up all of their materials. That would be all of the textbooks they need for the school year, their Chromebook and charger, their school handbook, and the credentials for logging in to their email. Upon logging into your email, all freshmen and new students should see some tech emails with some how-to videos attached, a welcome video from Mr. Newberry, Mrs. Bowen, and myself, along with the deans, Mr. Ring and Mr. Rouse. Please take some time to explore everything that we have provided you in your email. Hopefully your student can share that information with you. Our Chromebook covers and the styluses that students use have not yet arrived. Those are all on back order. We will be in communication when they're here. The expectation for the school year is for students to be engaged in their learning, for them to every day check into Infinite Campus and have their attendance taken, and this is every day, every period. We need students to ask questions. We need them to participate in their Google Meet meetings with their classes, turn in assignments, do collaborative work, and just stay on top of all the expectations that their teachers have. An easy way to do this is to continually check your email. I would suggest that students find a way to get organized if they're in that remote setting, and maybe they use their handbook from this, maybe they have a tried and true system from all their other years of education. Really keeping that checklist is going to be important to make sure that nothing gets kind of lost in the mix. If that happens, we do have support. I know Mrs. Bowen talked a great deal about some of the academic supports that we have. It's important to note all of those supports in the building during the school day. Counselors are also available for academic support if there's a question that students have. In addition, our school counselors are very knowledgeable in the college and career field. The college application process is, for some students, going to be exactly the same this year, and for others it's going to look a little different just given our current situations. In addition, we have a wide variety of social emotional supports. Our social workers and psychologists are here to help any student with their needs. We run some weekly support groups, skill building groups. We are here to make sure that all students get the support that they need throughout the year. We are also going to really rely on parents and guardians at home and how they can help with the not only remote learning, but our blended, our hybrid learning. Just please know that every day a student is going to come into the building, we need the families to complete a health screening and submission. This week, you will be receiving information from the school about an Our School app. We've used Our School for a couple of years for athletics and activities. This year, we are partnering with them for the daily health screening. Families will be able to take their student's temperature, answer a few questions, and hit submit through that app. This needs to happen before each student either gets on the bus or arrives at school. We encourage families to stick with their consistent school day schedule. The school starts at 8:30. We need every student up and logged in at that time if they are remote. All research shows that creating a dedicated workspace for students to work at home is crucial to their success. If you need any help procuring school supplies, please let us know. We can arrange that for you. And even though you might be working from home and your student might be schooling from home, continue to have that conversation about what happened at school. What did they learn today? And as we all know, students don't always share in full detail what happened, but keep asking those questions, keep trying to pry that out of them. You know, what was challenging, what was easy, what was new in school. Our number one way of communication is through Infinite Campus. Our Infinite Campus portal has a vast array of options for families, but it is how we send out all of our communication. So please make sure that you are getting that. A test that we have created for you tonight is for you to check your Infinite Campus portal. We have blasted out an article. Mrs. Bowen and I really like the grown and flown website. It's a magazine, it's a website, it's a Twitter account, it's an Instagram, but they just have some really short, applicable articles that are super easy to read about education, about parenting, about educating a high schooler, about a college student. It is a resource that we use on a regular basis. So we have linked an article and pushed it out to your Infinite Campus account. If you don't get that, if you don't have that, please let us know, and we can make sure that we adjust your modes of communication in Infinite Campus. And the other thing we're asking for is that you continue to hold your student accountable. You might see them on their computer. Just make sure that they're engaged in class and not doing something else that might look like work. And the teacher might reach out if they haven't seen your student in a few days. Some of your students will be coming back to school, and that it's important for us to know that we do have safety precautions in place. As I previously said, the Our School app will be used to self-assess students before arriving. Once they arrive in the building, they will have their temperature scanned. And this is not just for students, this is for every person coming into the building. We do have social distancing expectations in place. The hallways are wide enough that students can stay 6 feet apart, and we have created single direction stairwells that are marked. Our cafeteria, we have added some additional eating spaces and tables throughout the building. Students will have to maintain social distancing in the cafeteria as well. That will look, in most cases, 3 to 4 students at a table. In addition, every person in the building will be expected to wear a mask at all times. Any questions, please reach out to any administrator about these expectations. If your student is a little bit curious about what the building looks like, we will be open for students to come see not only their schedule, but how the hallways are different this year. So if you want to mark your calendars for August 13th from 8 to 3, August 14th from 8 to 3, August 27th from 3 to 5, and August 28th from 3 to 5. We do ask that you limit the number of people that come walk the schedule. In a perfect world, it would just be the student. If a parent does feel obligated to come with them, that's fine, as long as everybody is social distancing and wearing a mask. We, even in these unique times, are still obligated to the medical compliance information and expectations that the state of Illinois has put upon all schools. So we do need that health exam with all vaccinations to us by October 15th. Please also, those of you who need to prove residency, make sure that that is up to date as well. Any questions about medical compliance can be directed to our nurse, Miss Michelle Miller. Student Services is often responsible for our parent programming, and this year that has not changed. Most of our programming for first semester will be virtual, and details will be forthcoming on all of those evenings. One thing to note, though, right away is that our back to school night will be on August 27th, and this will be virtual. Every department, every course content group, and every teacher will be having some videos available for you that evening. In addition, we will have some Parent U presentations like we have in previous years. Our financial aid nights and our college planning nights in September and October are still on the calendar. We will be pushing out information about how those are going to be virtual in the next few weeks. In addition, we still plan on hosting our parent-teacher conferences in early October. Information to come mid-September. You also want to continue to pay attention to the weekly update that comes out of the building every Monday afternoon. This will be shared with all families via Infinite Campus. Speaking of Infinite Campus, like I said, this is our number one way of communication. It is also how your student knows what grade they're earning in each class. It is constantly being updated. Every time a teacher inputs a grade, Infinite Campus has that live update. You can check that grade on a regular basis, reach out to teachers with any questions. Only our semester grades will be mailed home, and we'll make that decision if they'll be mailed home later on this semester. It's fair for us to just talk about communication one last time. We embarked on a new website this summer. Encourage you to go check that out. It does have a live feed of all information that's coming from not only the building, but also the district. We have a new app associated with the website that does give you push notifications if you want that instant communication. Again, the weekly update. We also have some Twitter accounts that you should, if you're on Twitter, that you should follow. Lakes Eagles, our athletic Twitter account, which is Go LCHS Eagles, and then the Student Services account, LCHS Student Serve. All of that has a plethora of information so that you're not missing any details coming out of the school.
Hello, families. It's Mr. Newberry again. I hope you've enjoyed the orientation so far. I have a couple things to share with you before we say goodnight. First of all, the school day does not end at 2:25. We have athletics and activities and clubs going on after school. We encourage you to push your kids to get involved in one or the other or both. We have found the statistics show that students who are involved in athletics and activities are more successful during the school day. So please encourage your kids to get involved. If you have any questions, please call our athletic department to ask questions. Fall sports are starting this week with boys and girls golf, girls tennis, and boys and girls cross country. So encourage your students to get involved. It's important. At Lakes, we also enjoy a very strong booster club. The Lakes Eagles Booster Club does a fantastic job of supporting both academics, athletics, activities, and clubs, and our teachers. And we really appreciate that extra support. I would encourage you to get involved. We do have many fun activities that happen throughout the year that the boosters host. So please join the boosters. And to end the night, I thank you for joining us for this orientation. If you have any questions, please call the school and we will do our best to answer those questions. Have a good night, Eagles.